Proudly brought to you by National Mini Storage. It's New Zealand's favourite and most extreme fishing show, Screeming Reels.
I've got him! Woo-hoo-hoo! Yeah!
There's a bit of weight on him, mate. There's a bit of weight on him.
Oh, yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo! Out of the water, look at that!
Beautiful Northland, home of the legendary Hoppin' Big Game Fishing Tournament in Tutakaka. 2 days in, and there has already been some pretty big action. But now, extreme fishermen Leigh and Jason Hoyt have put in the last-minute entry and are hoping to land the big one, preferably a black marlin. The season so far has been a little slow for them, as they are yet to catch a fish this summer.
There we go. Bugger.
However, it's big pressure occasions like this that Jace and Leigh come into their own. On the eve of the big day, Leigh likes to catch up with some old fishing buddies and suss out the competition.
So I say, that's not a jack mackerel, that's a skipjack! Skipjack!
He could joke all night, but ever the professional, Leigh decides to turn in early. He knows at first light it will be game on. Game day. Having drunk 2 hotel minibars, Leigh is incredibly hungover. But ever the professional, he's here on time.
Well, there you go, Jace. Our biggest competition again here, eh?
Oh yeah, back are they?
Yeah.
What baits are you using?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Matty. Well, good luck to you. You're going to need it today.
Yeah.
Tell you. It doesn't mean you have a few laughs here for sure. Back at the weigh-in. Then we'll see who's laughing.
The first team is off.
Clowns. Assholes. Let's do it!
Now it's time for Jason Leigh to hit the water. With their reputations on the line, tactics will be crucial.
Yeah, well, this one it becomes about tactics now. We've got 1 going right, 3 going left, and 2 early on going straight up. We need to make a decision now. It's like America's Cup race. Which way do you go on the start?
I reckon these guys have made a big mistake, mate, peeling off to the left here and heading out 13 miles out in deep ocean. He said he's seen a couple of blacks out there, but I'm telling you, mate, on a day like this, you don't want to be going 13 miles. You want to be keeping relatively close to shore, making sure you're in the swirling current.
You got Kerry, Kenny, Ron, you know, good fishermen in their own right, you know, on any given day. Put the pressure on them, though. In a tournament situation, which we're used to doing, well, it's a different game altogether. It's called pressure, fish pressure, we call it. A lot of pressure on us, of course, being the guys from Screaming Reels and all that sort of stuff for the big fishing show. But at the end of the day, we know what we're doing. We're confident in our plan.
And you're right, mate. And the reality is, you know, at the end of the day, you're weighing, you know, the weigher never lies.
Aided by their skipper Jack, they head out to the strike zone to get those reels screaming.
Well, Jack, here we are. Jack's our skipper. Again, we go back a long way, of course.
Yeah.
A lot of fishing here, the Hoppin' fishing tourney. Just for the benefit of the viewers there, if we pull in a big marlin, say a stripey today, right? What's the plan? Are we going to tag it, release it, or depending on the thing, we obviously take back. Oh, I suppose if we take it to the weigh-in, you can't really release it, can you?
No, it's a bit late by then, but you've got to find that line, don't you, when you're tagging and releasing, because...
I'm not going to take your word for it at the weigh-in.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you say that we had a 300 kg marlin, but we released it,
yeah,
that's not going to cut it, is it?
No, not really.
You're not with those fellas, not with those assholes.
No.
They're not going to believe you. They're not going to believe you. Say, hey, we had a 300 kg one, but we're sustainable fishermen. Here's the tag.
The tag and release is a tricky thing because you've got to time it right because you don't want to damage the fish because you did.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. We put a marlin on board, and wasn't until later that we decided to release it. But unfortunately, it'd been in the smoker for 25 minutes by then, and that's no good to it. Because by the time, you know, it's not ideal.
It was beautiful, though, that one, wasn't it? It was beautiful.
So we pulled it back out again, yeah, and finished smoking it.
But before they can land a competition-winning marlin, they need to catch some bait fish.
Well, we've been out here a couple of hours now on the competition day and still no real bites for our live bait. But I wonder if we should have gone east. I'm not sure. I don't know.
It's north out there, isn't it?
That's north, but I'm wondering if we should have gone east.
Oh, east.
You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's early days, mate.
Well,
early
the sun's
days.
coming up over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the east. Right. You don't get up this early, do you? Unless you're doing shift work or fishing, I suppose. And raising kids. You know, you got young kids up in the morning, can't sleep. Whoa. Takes you back, doesn't it?
Sure does, mate.
Well, I don't even know if we get away with some of the stuff we did when we were raising our kids. I mean, didn't you have like a hamster cage or like a guinea pig cage out on the lawn?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, when at that sort of toddler sort of crawling stage, they could get about, mate. You know,
So he was in the cage, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, because I'd be doing stuff and they'd just bugger off and I couldn't find them anywhere. So I had a massive hamster cage and I thought I'd just chuck them out on the lawn there. It had a run on it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like one of those chicken runs, and you know, you hang a few toys off the cage. They're happy as Larry.
Yeah, it's great getting outdoors, isn't it?
Mate, they loved it, you know, and the only thing is, you know, you have to move it constantly because, as you say, you know, you kills your lawn there, but
Then you put the cat flap in.
Yeah. Geez, that's a proud day, isn't it?
Yeah.
When your kids first learn how to use a cat flap. It's,
I always thought I was going to miss it. You know, that thing where you think you're going to be away with work or something and your wife's going to ring up, hey, you wouldn't believe what happened, you know? Mm-hmm. You know, he's using the cat flap.
Of all the days that you should be working, this is the day that little Johnny used the cat flap.
It doesn't, it just freedom to your life, you know? You don't have to carry them in and out. They're in the cat flap.
Well, you just see their little faces, don't you? You know, they're in the
popping through, don't you? They pop through.
They're in the kitchen just sitting, and then when they pop through the cat flap, and there's a whole new world out there,
yeah.
You know?
A couple of days later, they actually go right through it.
Yeah,
you know, they've got
yeah.
the confidence to go through it.
They stick their head through a couple of times, just sort of checking out. You're going, come on, come on, come on, come on, you can do it, but they go back in again. Weird.
I remember when we were, you know, feeding our young ones, trying to get them to eat the veggies and stuff. Nowadays, they just, if a kid doesn't want to eat it, they don't eat it. Yeah. We used the kitty tasers.
Kitty tasers?
Yeah, so you'd obviously give them a couple of warnings, like, you know, I know it's broccoli, you've got to eat it. No, twice. Broccoli, you have to eat it. No, ignore you. Bang, taser.
Yeah.
125 volts, 75 watts.
Yeah, 75
No, was
watts.
it 75 watts?
Well, I mean, it wasn't a big jolt, but it was enough to make them eat the broccoli. I didn't have the kitty taser, I had the neck braces, you know, because my kids were, once they got through the cat flap, they were forever going down the driveway.
Catch 22, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Once they start using
they've
the
got their
flap,
freedom.
they've got the,
So I'd put those little
shock collar
on and they'd get to the top of the driveway and get a hell of a jolt, probably about 150.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, they never went down the driveway after that, I can tell you, mate.
Yeah. Blow darts, have you used the blow darts at kids' parties and stuff? When you know, you got 20 kids running around, all bloody on sugar high hypoxia, I think they call it, the experts nowadays.
Nuts, don't they?
But, you know, running around like, they're going nuts, what do you do? You've got to take the alpha male out of there, so they all come down, you know? Gentle blow dart on the back, 2 maybe if you need to. You know, if it's a big kid, like a lot of those kids, those fat kids nowadays, you probably need a couple of darts into the back there, just to blow the cortex.
Because you get the kit, didn't you, the blow dart kit, and the people, oh, you know, you can't blow dart kids. But I mean, they were hollow-nosed. I mean, they were soft-tipped.
And people make out it's like, oh, you're getting these pharmaceutical sedatives and stuff. No, it wasn't. These are natural toxins that the Amazonian Indians used to sedate spider monkeys and things like that, or lemurs. You know, it's not like it's, you know, they don't wake up with a headache or anything.
No, they're totally fine.
Any bites?
No, mate.
I don't know. I'm not going to say it's Jack's fault, but, you know, I've come out here plenty of times and had a lot of action. You know?
After the break, more screaming real action. Off the coast of Tutakaka, extreme fishermen Leigh and Jason Hoyt have entered the Hoppin' Big Game Fishing Tournament. They are targeting Big Marlin.
Well, you're probably wondering what we're doing here. Well, what I've got here is a bit of a sabiki rig sort of setup, and that's what I like to use when we're going for our live baits. What'll happen, we use that bait, the live bait, of course, for those big marlin. Because at the end of the day, we're having the big one, the marlin, black marlin, preferably maybe a couple of stripies. We know there's been a couple of black marlin sighted here, and that's what we're targeting. Apparently there's a set of twins. 2 marlin have been sighted around about here, and that's what we're going for. It'd be nice to have both those marlin at the weigh-in later on.
Hours pass without much luck. So the boys bring some of their old tricks out of the bag.
As you can probably hear in the background there's some sonic activity going on. Leigh's trying a few things sonically, because as we all know, aquatic life responds at various levels to the sonic frequency of what's going on in the water. You typically your dolphin, your whale, all that sort of sounds. In the lower the frequency, for example, you get your white flesh fish, your bass, your harp hookers and stuff like that. And the higher frequency, your alto and treble, tends to attract the marlin. So we've tried everything at the moment, and she's as dead as a dodo. And it's been pretty tough, but I mean, it's not all Jack's fault. I mean, Jack's doing his best, and he's taken us to where he thought the action was, and apparently it's been going off here all summer.
Yeah, as I think Joseph's saying there, fish do respond to different frequencies of sound, and what I've got here is a bass guitar, Fender Precision, and with subaquatic microphones, we play music, basically. And, your deeper fish respond to different noises. I mean, a kahwa is not going to respond to the Barney Miller theme, the... You're not going to get a kahwa with that, you know what I mean? Maybe a harp hooker, I don't know. But if you're talking about your kingies, you're into something a bit lower, maybe midnight hour, something like that. Something traditional, that'll bring them up. Funky stuff like that, maybe a leather jacket, kahwa perhaps.
What about gropers?
Gropers? No, they're tone deaf. Every day's different, and it's not just that you got to think about. You got to think about the tides, weather conditions, even light. Be honest, it would have been better if we were out here at 6 in the morning instead of having a bass guitar out here trying to catch fish that way. But
Leigh eventually decides to take a more traditional approach to fishing.
Hey mate, I might put the bass away and get back on the rod.
You good plan, man. Level then.
It's all time of day, really, isn't it? I always find if you get out on the dawn or dusk, awesome time of fishing. You get out there, just the light change. The fish love that. They come up, don't they? That's when they tend to be a bit more responsive. That's why I love fishing around daylight savings time, that kind of stuff. You get out there and the fish haven't adjusted for it yet. They don't know that you're
right.
You're like an hour.
You've got an hour. You've got an hour on them.
Jump on them. Yeah. End of the season, of course, the other way around. You're out there an hour looking stupid, and they're not there anymore.
Yeah.
Because they have their natural body clocks, don't they? They don't look at time like we do. You got like a dive watch. What's that? Rolex, is it?
No, a Wolex.
What?
A Wolex.
You mean Rolex?
No, it's a Wolex, like a W.
Wolex?
It's like a Rolex, but it's a Wolex.
What do you mean, like what's the difference?
Well, it's cheaper. Actually, this isn't even a proper Wolex. This is actually a Wolex copy.
I used to have a dive watch called a Kesselman. You get down, it was waterproof to 150 metres. Only problem was that it wouldn't be waterproof until you got to 150 metres, if you know what I mean. It needed the pressure to get to close it up.
It's the same with the Wolex, actually.
Yeah.
Well, this is 300 metres, but it's not for the first 200.
Yeah. So that dial there, you'll set like daylight savings, put that an hour back. So especially if you're diving, you've got to so you've got 45 minutes of air. You go down there, daylight savings, you've got that set.
But daylight savings now, it's forward now, isn't it?
Well, you're going to lose that air then, aren't you?
Well, you are.
You can't put the air forward.
No, well, you can't put the air forward, but it's forward an hour now, isn't it?
No, it's back. You don't want to go diving with a tank of air, think you've got half an hour, you lose that hour, you'll lose that air.
Yeah,
you gain it at the end of the season.
You're theoretically, you're breathing air that you don't even have yet.
Yeah, you haven't got it.
But I'm pretty sure it's forward an hour, isn't it?
At the end of the season, you'll gain that air back.
Right, okay.
Dangerous time to go diving, actually, right on the change of daylight. You don't see a lot of people diving during daylight savings.
Well, you remember, it's funny you should say that, Ricky had that terrible diving accident with that very thing. He was on daylight savings time went down to 150 metres and he'd put his watch forward an hour, so he didn't actually have that air at that point.
Yeah, but he also had a barbecue gas bottle on his back. Well, he wasn't even using the proper scuba tank. That was probably the more of his issue.
Yeah.
The boys have been unable to catch any bait fish. But with the clock ticking in the competition, they decide to get trawling anyway.
Well, this feels like a good spot, Jack. The salinity in the water I can sort of taste in the air, and I think for me, that's a good sign, okay? I mean, I don't know what you're getting on your reader there, but it feels good here. So we're gonna take it up level, gonna stick on the old harness. Once those reels start screaming, there's no looking back. Jace, what are you using there, mate?
Yeah, I've got the old pink skirt lure.
Yeah.
Particularly in this buoyancy of water.
Yeah.
The pink skirt sits on top really nicely, just floats there, is very attractive to your stripies and your blacks.
Certainly is. And just as a point of difference, I'll be doing something a little bit different, running with a live bait with the dead pilchard like that. So I'll be chucking, you can see I've sort of scoured the back a bit, makes it look a bit like a squid as well. I've thrown out the back there. And we'll get trawling, probably around about 8 knots, I reckon. Jake, you reckon it's good for around here? Yeah.
8 knots. Yep. Should we do it?
Yeah.
Jack is not convinced about the tactics, but he's getting paid by the hour. Coming up, the reels start screaming. The boys are onto something big.
Coming around, coming around, coming around, coming around.
The boys trawl the waters of Tutukaka with no luck for a few more hours. But then, drama. It's fish on.
Hey, we're on here.
Are you on, eh? I'll bring mine in.
Bring your head, bring your
Yeah, good, mate, good.
This is where Jason Leigh's experience comes into play.
Come around me, come around me.
Come around, you're right. Just stay calm, mate, you got it.
Yeah, take her out. A couple more knots. You're fighting me.
Leigh lets the fish run again.
Take your line, take your line, take your line. Coming around, coming around, coming around, coming around.
Every move is crucial when fighting a big game fish. It's an epic battle between man and beast. Again, the big fish takes the line.
Take your line, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Out of the water, look at that!
Don't look at it. Don't stay on me.
Stay here, stay on me.
Get that shot later. When they breach like that, that's something else. But he didn't get a shot of it.
Together as a team, they fight the huge fish. Minutes turn to hours, and still the big fish fights.
Take it, Jace. Take it, Jace.
Possibly against angler rules, Jace is now on the rod.
Wow, there is some weight in that, isn't there? I reckon 300 kg, mate.
The reels are screaming, trawling, jigging, fighting.
Coming in, coming in.
Yeah. Just keep it straight, Jack. Keep it straight, Jack. There we go.
Now Leigh is back on the rod.
I see colour, mate. I see
colour.
colour. Bring it in.
Then, drama. Rather than a record-breaking marlin, the boys pull in what appears to be 40 pounds of kelp.
I think there's a marlin on there, mate.
Nah, I think you're hooked on the bottom there, boys.
You know, that's what you probably think, Jack, but what you got here, it's definitely a marlin. I'd say a stripey.
It was definitely a marley. It was definitely a 300-poundy.
All boats ended at the Hop-In fishing tournament. There are now approximately 3 minutes to go until stop fishing for the tournament. We would appreciate it if all boats could keep the airways clear for any late hookups.
Can't really take kelp into the weigh-in, though.
No, I don't want to take that to the weigh-in.
No.
I don't have a category for that.
Well, they might.
I'll be honest, I don't feel comfortable taking this kelp into a weigh-in.
No, I
at a
wouldn't.
top fishing show, if you know what I'm saying. We'd look stupid. Jack will look stupid.
Jack would certainly look stupid.
I will tag it and chuck it back, eh?
Yeah.
The tournament is officially over. The boats return home. It's been a long, hard day on the water, but Leigh and Jace take comfort in the fact that in these conditions, it's unlikely anybody else caught much either.
$5.6.
I can't wait the prize given.
It's time to see what's of interest on the board.
Big snapper. Cherokee. Now, is that battered or is it crumbed?
Battered.
Battered?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go for that. I'll get the deep fried scallops as well. Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
As the sun sets on Tutukaka, prize giving begins. Being good sports, Leigh and Jace decide to stick around, but are not prepared to mingle inside with the other competitors.
It always tastes better when you earned it, and I tell you what, prize giving's well underway back there, and,
Sure is, mate, sure is.
well, no luck for us today, mate, but that's fishing.
It is, and unfortunately, as Leigh mentioned, today we didn't have much luck, but thanks to our good mates at Haller's, we do have some...
Certainly do. These are old-fashioned beef. Beautiful. Look at that, eh?
You don't even need to
Fantastic.
put those in the smoker. You know, mate, they say the ocean has no friends. And we found that out today, but I tell you what, there's plenty of friends in there. The men of the ocean, the men that ride the waves, that go with the ebb and flow of the tide, and
Their skin may be weathered with time, with salt. Their fingers may stink of fish. Their body's often odorous like a porpoise that's been washed up on a beach.
and just as the porpoise will travel to the east, the short-nosed dolphin to the south,
And the albatross to the west.
all of us stand on the briny surface of the ocean, where there's no friends or enemies. We are one people.
And though we'll travel with these people, following the albatross to the ends of the earth, we shall come back and return together as one, as people, land people, just as we are people of the sea.
Poseidon, Zeus, Neptune.
Gods of the sea, men or gods, just not know.
But you know, Leigh, sometimes I get to think that God is somewhere there between the river mouth and sea, glistening helplessly, with only a broad sky, a bored dog, and me listening, mate.
And fish, though they may be large or small, crumbed or battered, fish are fish. And like the white bait that swim helplessly to sea, spawning as they must, we too must spawn, because we are fish and we are men. We must breed and make other fishermen. Like the salmon that go upriver to spawn, they still are fish of the sea. They will return to the very spot where they were born people of the sea, men of fish.
You mean fishermen?
Yeah, fishermen. Exactly, fishermen. You got it, Rusty, fishermen.
Go back into the club, shall we?
Screeming Reels would like to thank the support of Woooaaaahhh, New Zealand's oldest and most trusted beer since 1648. Our friends at Haller's, New Zealand's butcher. Try Haller's old-fashioned beef sausages, the all-new Rexton from Sangyong. And of course, National Mini Storage, creating space.